welcome back to my channel. My name is Bilkis. Today we'll be making a simple flared top of the shoulder, and I'm going to teach you the technique which will make the upper part sit so well on your shoulder and it will look so nice. And guess what? Our advanced class is starting on the 8th of January. Hope you're prepared for that. I will pin in the comment section on how to contact us and then the course outline. If you haven't subscribed to my channel by now, you should hit that red button, yes, because you don't want to miss out on any of my tutorials. And do not forget to join us on Facebook Sewing Innovation. Also, I have already put up the courses and how to contact us on Facebook, which is Sewing Innovation. So try as much as possible to get in touch with us. The beginners class, the intermediate class are still very much on if you are interested. So right now, let's go over to the work table and get started. So we need about 1.5 meters of fabric. So I'll be using this plain fabric, so my chalk will be obvious. And here I have interlining. You need just little, and make sure it is the very soft one. Except if your fabric is very thick, you could ignore this part. So right now, let's go to folding our fabric. So here my fabric here is so short. It is less than 45. But if yours is by 45 or by 60, you can just fold it along this way, because it is a flare dress, not really a full circle dress. So what I will do is, since this place is shorter for me, I will be folding along this way. So now to cut the two parts together, I'll just fold into two this way. I want a length of 40, so I will just fold it like this. Can you see? So right now I folded it into two, but if yours is longer by 45 or by 60, you fold this way. But because this is so short for me, so I will be folding along like this. Can you see? Then I will fold it this way. So now I have folded my fabric. Can you see? Since it's not a full circle dress, so it is just a little flare. So that is why I just folded diagonally like this. But let me go through the folding again. Like, this is my fabric. In most cases, this is always the length of the fabric. It is either by 45 or by 60. But this one I'm having is less than 45. So when I fold this way, it won't be as long as I want. So I will be folding along the width of the fabric. Can you see that? So this is my fabric. So what I did now is this. This is the length that is either by 45 or 60. So this is the width. So that means instead of folding this way, that won't be enough for me. I'll have to go this way. Can you see? I'll be folding it this way. So I'll be able to get the desired length. So that was why I folded along the width again. Can you see that? Along the width, can you see? So then I will fold diagonally like this. So I'll be able to get a longer length. Can you see that? So if you want it longer, so you fold it accordingly. So now we can now start our measurement. Can you see the way I folded my fabric? Just a little flare. But if you want to make a circle dress with this same style, you can check my video on how to make a circle dress. So the next thing is to take my ruler and then take my measuring tape and locate quarter of my bust measurement. For instance, my bust is 42. Quarter of that is 10.5. Then I will add ½ inch seam allowance to it to join the sides together, and that will make it 11. If you want it to be freer, you could add extra ½ inch to it, or even 1 inch. So now, since I want 11, I will just place my ruler this way and then locate wherever I get 11. So I'll move down again, and you see now I have 11. Then I will use my chalk to draw a straight line. So with this, we can now start. So the next thing I will do is to locate my shoulder measurement, half of my shoulder measurement, which is 8.5. So I will mark it on this line. So I haven't gotten my 8.5. The next thing is to come in by 1 inch. You could leave it this way, but just that you want some space after attaching the upper part, you don't want it to be too tight, so you could come in by 1 inch here. but you could leave out this part. Then the next thing is to go up by 2 inches. So this way, or make it 2.5. Half will be for the sewing allowance, which we'll use to join to the upper part. So now from this 1 inch we came in from the shoulder measurement, I'll just go up by 2.5 inches, which is here. Can you see that? Then I will take my armhole curve. So with my armhole curve, I will just connect from the 2.5 inch in which we came up by and connect. So why did I use 2.5? Because it's an off shoulder. I want the upper part in height. I want it to be 2.5 inches. And you could do like 2 inches, but 2.5 is always very, very nice. So since I'm using 2.5 inches, and also I came up by 2.5. So when you add it together, that will make it 5 inches. So for a normal off shoulder, you usually take off 4 or 5 inches. So it is okay. 2.5 for the upper part, and then this lower part is okay for the off shoulder. Then I will take my measuring tape. I came up by 2.5. Then I will go up by 2.5 here too. 2.5. Can you see that? Then take my ruler and draw a straight line. Then we are done with this part. Then I will move this up or this way and then determine my length. This is my chest line. Remember, we always insert our bust measurement on our chest line. And to determine that is half of your armhole circumference, which mine is 8 inches. So I will just start measuring the length of my dress from that 8.5 inches. But if you are finding that difficult to do, just place the measuring tape to somewhere around your armpit and then measure it to where you want your dress to be. So now I will just measure 40. So I'll place my 8.5 inches, that is half of your armhole measurement, and measure 40 inches because that is the length of my dress. So this is 40 inches. I'll just add 1 inch to it for the hemming allowance, which will make it 41. Then I will move again and mark 41. 8.5, 41. So now, lastly, when you get here, 0.5, so here is 41. Because you still want this circular effect after cutting out your dress, just come up by 2 inches. This is 41 here. So come up by 2 inches, 1, 2. So this is hip. Can you see that? So you curve it over like this. Because you don't want to have this side peeking out after sewing your dress. So it will give it a circular effect. So now we can cut out. Now this is what you have. And you see that the flat part is ready. So the next thing now is to cut the upper part. So now let me fold. So now for the upper part, you need your round your shoulder measurement. So you place your measuring tape this way because I want it to be somewhere around here, and then you take the measurement of this area. Make sure it's not too tight and not too loose, but make sure it's tight or not too tight. So whatever measurement you get from here, we will be needing that now. So now this is my leftover fabric. I will just fold it this way. My round the shoulder measurement is 48. So since I'm folding over my fabric, so I'll be using half of that, which is 24. So that means I will measure 24 this way. 24 here. Then remember we said we want the wideness of the upper part to be 2.5 inches. So, and we also need half an inch to join it to the flared dress we already cut out. So that will make it 3 inches. But remember we have to fold. So that will make it 6 inches. So now I will take my measuring tape and measure 6 inches this way. Can you see that? And here from the 24, 6 inches, and then I will rule a line and join it. So now, again I will go over it. Half of my shoulder round measurement is 24 because I have this fabric on fold. And then 6 inches, by the time I divide it will become 3. So 2.5 for the upper, for the height, and then ½ inch for seam allowance. And then I will cut this out. So I will open up this part too. So now I have 2 of this. Then I will cut my interlining to be 2.5. Remember we will be folding this part. So I will cut 24 by 2.5 because you won't have similar ones to your interlining. So right now I already cut out the interlining 24 inches by 2.5. Then what I will do now is to put this in, because by the time I fold it, can you see? So I'll put it in, and this will be the seam allowance, and then I'll use my pressing iron to also fold in the seam allowance. I already did that, and this is what I have. Can you see it? This is the interlining, and I've folded in the seam allowance. Can you see that? So let's just to be sure. Can you see? 2.5 inches after folding in the seam allowance, so it is right. Then I will tell you the technique to make it sit so well on your shoulder that you won't have to have this allowance on the upper part of your shoulder. So what I will do now is fold it this way. Remember, the place you are joining to the flared part, let it be below. And then I will fold into 2. Can you see this way? So after doing this now, the seam allowance I left, my shoulder measurement, my round shoulder measurement is actually 23. So I added 1 inch seam allowance to it. So my half of my shoulder, round the shoulder measurement was actually 23. So I added 1 inch seam allowance to it to make it 24. So I will be taking half of the 1 inch as sewing allowance here to join to the other part, and also ½ inch seam allowance to join to the other part here. So it was 23 and I added seam allowance just to make you understand that was why I explained that. So I have ½ inch here for sewing allowance to join this to this back part, and also ½ inch seam allowance here. So now make sure this part is below. Then I will fold it this way. Remember I have ½ inch for sewing allowance, so let me mark the ½ inch. This part is really important. So this is ½ inch for my seam allowance. Can you see this? So to actually make this sit well on your shoulder, so what I will do is go in by ½ inch here, ½ inch here, and then use my ruler to join to this side, ½ inch, and then connect this way, and then I will cut this off. So by the time you sew it, it will give you this curvy effect and will make this place sit so well instead of having this place peeking out. So now I will now start taking my seam allowance of the ½ inch. So this is ½ inch, and from this edge I will measure ½ inch, which is here. Then I will connect. So now I will be sewing this way to the other part. So what I've done now, I will also do to this part. So now, having folded the back part same way, I will just place this part on it and then trim off this 1/4 inch. So we are good to go. So the next thing now is to join these two parts together. So the next stage now is to open up both sides. Can you see? So now I will be joining these two parts together. So right side facing each other because you have to sew on the wrong side of the fabric. So I will place it this way. Can you see it? So open up the seam allowance here, and then I will sew the 1/2 inch seam allowance. I will sew it and then come back to show you. So having joined it here, can you see the 1/2 inch? Then I will turn to the right side. Can you see that? Open up this seam, this side seam. After doing that, then I will fold this way. The part with the interlining will be outside. You see, then I will tuck it in again, and then now we will join to the flared part. So now this is the lower part we cut out before. So the next thing is to take in the 1/2 inch we left on both sides, both front and back, and then I will sew 1/2 inch all through, 1/2 inch all through, and then I will finish the armhole area. You could just fold over this way, or better still, you use a bias strip to finish the armhole line. So I will do that and show you. So now, having sewn the sides of the lower part, and then I've finished the armhole with the bias strip. Can you see that? Make sure you press it neat. And then this is the upper part. Let me show you. Can you see? Because we took in 1/4 inch from this side, you can see it's curvy in this area. So you just fold it into half and determine the midpoint. Can you see that? On both sides. And note, the part with the interfacing will be outside. So, and also on this part, I folded into 2 and then I notched the midpoint. So now I will show you how to attach this upper part to this lower part. So now, since I've folded in my seam allowance here, so what I'll do is that I will take this notch area, the middle part, I will join to this middle part here. I'll just put it, remember 1/2 inch, make sure 1/2 inch goes inward here. So make sure it matches and cover it up and then pin it. Can you see that? Then I will go this way. Make sure it is 1/2 inches inward. And then I will pin. Then here all through, make sure you pin it down. So can you see it now? I've attached the front part. Then the same way, I will attach the back part and pin it all through same way I have done this. So looking at this, you can see the dress already has its shape. Can you see that? So what I'll do now is to take to the sewing machine and sew from here. You can just start from here to here, then you stop. Then you can now continue from here, or better still, like I will just start from here and then sew it all around. You sew all this place to the back all through. So right now I will start sewing it. You can start from here first and attach this first, but I will just start from here. I will place it under my sewing machine this way. Can you see that? Then I will remove the pin. Make sure everything matches up. You should do that gently with patience. Put your pin in, put it down, and do not forget to backstitch, and I will keep sewing. So when I'm about to get here, I will remove this pin and make sure this is 1/2 inch inward. Can you see that? So make sure you do that. and then I will keep sewing. Can you see that? Then here again I will remove the pin and keep sewing all through. So looking at the outfit, you can see it is ready. You can see the inner part, everything is so neat. The armhole, all you have to do now is to hem the lower part, and I'll just put it on for you to see how it looks on me. And this is the result of the flared dress off the shoulder we just made. Can you see it is so easy and you can rock it anywhere? Can you see that? So just give it a try. If my tutorial has been helpful, give me a thumbs up, and do not forget to contact us for the advanced class, and I will pin in the comment section below. Also join us on Facebook, Sewing Innovation. Do not forget to follow me on Instagram, Bilki's Signature, and catch you guys later.